All right, good morning, good evening, good night. We are having here another episode of NFT Live. I am joined by Ronin and Shep, as you can hear him in the background. We're going to have ourselves a good episode here. We've got NFT Live ready to roll. Ronin, how are you doing on this beautiful Wednesday?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Really looking forward to another packed episode of NFT Live. We have got a special guest today on. He is coming straight from the team over at Colonize Mars. It's actually going to be the founder, Hunter Stanchuk. We're really looking forward to having that conversation with him today. Want to know about what that project's going to be looking like, get you guys that information. They actually got a sale going on right now. It's a 24-hour sale. So we'll get you all the info that you guys need so you understand what's going down and how to take part in that sale and get ahead of it, man. I think this is another big opportunity for people to get in early on a metaverse opportunity in the future, man.
Yeah, 100%. Wax is absolutely killing it as well. So we are going to touch on a lot for this episode. I'll give you the episode preview here in a second, guys. But I'm going to shout out the guys in the chat here. I've got Llama, I've got Hash Rhymes, DJ Wisdom, I've got Fabio, Ballast, Flint Savage. Crypto Buffalo is in the chat, and he is not behind the scenes today, as you can see. So we definitely have our kind of work in front of us here to make sure that it's at least to the standards that Buffalo would appreciate. Let me see. Who else do we have in chat? Do you want to shout out anybody here, Ron?
Ton of people, yeah. Hubbard Snacks, Choina, what's going on? Asmodi, K Karthus. It's good to see everybody. Thank you guys so much for all the welcomes. It's always hard when I'm away from NFT Live and I can't enjoy the lads for the excellent conversations that you guys have every week when I'm not around. Buff being my favorite guy on the show. So I really appreciate getting to watch Buff kind of take reign and take part in the conversation. We do miss him when he's not here, but I think our boy Q is going to be able to take care of that for us. So yeah, man. I mean, it's been a good week for me. I think that the space has seen the usual, right? Like last week we saw Eminem drop over the weekend, which was a very interesting drop. But I definitely think that there's a little bit of pullback. That's a conversation that I think that people can get into and kind of talk about the whys. But I think for me, it's more of that we're finding like the realistic, like a nice like level for the space. And during this time, and while kind of things are starting to quiet down, I think the people who develop and the people who kind of grow the community and have been doing that for the past like year or two are going to continue to do that. So we'll get another re-entry for the general public in probably about a year.
Yeah, I want to talk about this point. It's not on the dashboard whatsoever, but I'm seeing this cross my timeline a bunch, and it has to do with Nifty Gateway. I don't know if you've been hearing any kind of rumblings about Nifty Gateway, but talking about what the I guess the overall mood that you just described is kind of a cooling off for NFTs. It was a major hype in March, obviously February, that run up there. Do you feel like Nifty Gateway is a little bit like getting some heat for the amount of drops that they're putting out right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you have to consider like, flooding the market, right? Supply and demand. I think that with Nifty, you're looking at, sometimes 7 drops in a week. And then those drops have all of them have open editions. Some of them have like some really high print count editions. And it tends to, in my opinion, I think it's just watering down like the experience, right? And you can see it. You can go on the secondary marketplace on Nifty. There's not a ton of action. Obviously, like the big names are always going to move, right? Like that, the people who are dropping on other platforms, who have like other collaborations and going with, other projects. So I definitely think that we're seeing that. Outside of that, I think that you have to consider the fact that Nifty is, do you got me?
Yeah.
Nifty is, their secondary doesn't really have like a call to action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's not really a way for them to, they do a burn every once in a while, but there's not a whole lot to go back to Nifty for, to, put your stuff on the secondary, to pick up things on the secondary. There's not a little, like you don't have the motions of a market. Things are a bit stagnant there. So because of that, I think that, I think that it's a little bit of too much, too much, too quick, too soon.
I was surprised. I was surprised at the amount of heat they were getting. They made a couple cancels. I saw a couple, people on Twitter were complaining that they had called them and said, we're canceling your drop that was scheduled like 2 months out in advance, just so that they could cut down on the amount that you're talking about. So That was an interesting story, not necessarily on our dashboard, but we are getting ready to go through this episode. Again, we're going to touch with Colonize Mars here relatively quickly, and then we are going to head into the episode, and I'm going to give you the episode here. Axie Infinity, it's not the only Ronin that you're going to see today. We've got NFT Carved, we've got gaming powerhouse Atari. We're going to take you into Decentraland a little bit if we can, and then we're going to touch on Reebok and Wax, Sega, NFTs, Emily Ratajkowski working on Christie's, and then Weezer and Wax. So that is kind of the rundown for today. Ronan's going to give us a quick rundown of what's happening in LADZ City, especially on Friday, and we will get into the episode here with Colonize Mars.
Absolutely. So to catch everybody up on what is going on with LADZ, first off, we've got today, we actually have the Heads Up competition between Loadmaster and Bullseye. They're going to be playing Heads Up at 6 p.m. on the Discord server today for that last slot of April for the final table going down at the end of the season. So, congratulations to both of those guys for making it to that opportunity, and best of luck to both of you. I know Loadmaster is definitely a shark, so you're going to have to watch out, Bullseye. As far as everything else going on, Friday, we've got another full pack day for you guys. We're going to start off with NFT Live at 2 p.m. After that, we are looking at having NFT Arcade at 5. And directly behind that at 6 p.m., we are going to have another poker tournament as well as LADZ City Radio. So I think it's another pack day of NFT content. We're looking at, obviously, all the big stories from the week, but as well as, the gaming content and everything coming from Kagi, who's absolutely been killing it. I love checking into what's going on because I don't get to keep up with all the stories, and since we're so focused on like the wider NFT like ecosystem, I don't get to like focus on what I enjoy about the space the most, which is definitely like the game side of things. So I love catching Kagi on Fridays. You guys make sure you jump in 5 p.m., give him some love, and obviously hop into the Discord right afterwards for everyone's favorite radio show with Crypto Buffalo, LADZ City Radio. Hopefully we'll have a guest or two drop by to give some content to you guys, as well as some excellent music and tunes. So I think that's kind of a good rundown, though.
Yeah, perfect rundown you did right there, Ronan. That was awesome. We had a great LADZ Day last week, and the best part I guess I can't say it's the best part of LADZ Day because it happened on Saturday, but I woke up on Saturday kind of groggy, kind of just getting over Friday, all that good stuff. Woke up to Flint Savage playing some tunes in LADZ City, and it almost felt a little bit like New York City, Ronan, where it was just like you wake up and the party's still going. That was awesome. A cool experience.
Very cool. Yeah, I saw that there were some people last night hanging out. So it looks like Flint has been jumping on and playing a little tunes for whoever's hanging out. And I definitely think that, look, if you guys are part of the community, if you're here for the NFTs or the DeFi or the mining or whatever, there's a lot of other stuff going on the Discord at any given time of the day, right? So if you're chilling, it's the end of the night, you're trying to wind down, but you want to kind of maybe hang out with some friends, maybe you want to play some games. We've got, audio chat rooms you guys can be hopping in. Flint obviously was hitting the radio last night and playing some tunes for a couple of guys there. Come hang out with the boys and the ladies over in LADZ City.
Amazing stuff. All right, we are good to go for the episode. We're going to give Hunter a ping really quick, the founder over there at Colonize Mars, and we're going to have that discussion. They are having a wax sale today that is actually live right now, a 24-hour sale window on the Wax blockchain for their project. We are going to hit that pretty hard right now. We're going to ask Hunter all about this stuff. He had a pretty cool backstory that he was getting into before we pressed live about what they're trying to accomplish with the story. That was a really cool aspect where he had. I'm going to save it for him. I'm not going to kind of get into it, but you're excited for this one, Ronan?
Dude, absolutely. I think that this is a very cool project. I love the artwork. I think that they've got a nice little roadmap put together. And anytime that you see these experiences, right? Like it's not just a matter of collecting. Yeah, you can collect the cards. The cards are really dope. They've got a lot of cool rarities mixed in there. But then when you consider the fact that the long-term goal here is a game, right? Like it's a metaverse. It's going to include land. You're going to have ownership cards that actually give true ownership for this first series in Colonize Mars. And then obviously they have the storyline to kind of thread in as well. So we will definitely be going over that with Hunter. And I think that you guys are really going to enjoy hearing about this project because I really enjoyed kind of doing a little research and diving into it. So
yeah, while we wait for Hunter here, guys, drop in the chat what you want us to talk about here today. We have about 40 of you. We kind of just went live here and went over some LADZ stuff, but we do have a full episode of NFT Live. We do have pretty much a full episode of content to give you you guys today. We did the episode rundown, but if there's something in NFTs happening right now, you let us know, other than the fact that NFTs are going to ruin the environment. Whoever Reboot Camp needs to get into LADZ City, and we need to have a discussion a little bit before you kind of come in here spamming the chat about NFTs ruining the environment. If you are still here, head to lads.city. I'll see you there in Main Square, me and you squaring off. Orlando is in the house. He's saying, aloha lads, let's share the crypto sunshine. Q, Buff, and Ronin, let's share that blockchain value. Appreciate you brought us. Yeah, it's nice to see you here, Orlando. Last shout out I'll make before we move into a little bit of Colonize Mars and move into getting with Hunter here. Red Hand was a miner this morning. He kind of added that liquidity there. Obviously, adding liquidity and being a miner for lads.city is probably the best thing that you could do for our community. Again, this isn't investment advice. It's do your own research. We're not making you do anything here. But if you'd like to understand those details about what it takes to be a LADZ miner, please reach out via DMs to either me, a moderator, so you can reach out to Ronin, you can reach out to Buff, and we will get you those details about how that process works. So that's awesome. Shout out to Red Hand.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. And to everybody else who's hanging out, we appreciate you so much. There's so much love in chat for DJ Flint for his session last night, as well as his session this morning. So it sounds like he's definitely hanging out in LADZ City and spinning up the ones and twos for a little crowd here and there. So you guys show some love. Check the Discord out throughout the day. See if he's live and hop in if he is, man, and just hang out. I love just like, for me, like being able to throw on some tunes while I'm working, dude, is perfect. So like having DJs kind of playing sets throughout the day in LADZ City is an excellent idea. Getting that New York City vibe.
Awesome, man. All right, we are still waiting for Hunter. My man likes to keep us waiting and show up late to the party a little bit. We've got Asmodai talking about some Avagachi roadmap news today. Maybe we'll touch on that. We can probably start our initial look at Colonize Mars. So this sale went live on Atomic Hub. I believe me and Ronan were looking at some of the stats here with the pack sales that they're having. And I think at this point, and again, it's a 24-hour sale. It's only about an hour and a half into their sale. They've sold about 600K, 700K worth of these supply crates. So Ultimate and Standard, they've been able to raise that amount of money. Definitely good to see a solid raise even with this NFT pullback, right? I think a project like this probably sells out 2 to 3x if they launch in March, much like the ICOs back in 2017. But it's awesome to see these guys still raising money, still getting after it with these sales.
Absolutely. And there you can see like the art is really cool. Love the borders. They've got some animation going on some of the top tiers. And then they also have these ownership cards, which we'll break those down when we get into it with Hunter. But essentially you've got an opportunity to kind of have this burn race, right? Where you got to get 3 of each of these tiers to kind of get to the next tier. And once you get to the legendary, if you burn 3 legendaries, then you have the opportunity to get an ownership card. That ownership card is going to give you the ability to kind of reap some rewards for owning, whether it's a piece of, a tool or a vehicle. Eventually they will include land. And then obviously you're looking at kind of like an alien world scenario where, you can combine tools and lands. And I imagine things like the rover that you see there. To kind of, I imagine like farming, we can obviously ask Hunter once he comes on so we can get some more information. But
here's what we can do, Ronan. We can ask him right now. He is not available, but he also is kind of available. I hope you know what I'm about to do right now. We are going to merge out here and we are going to talk to a frozen Hunter. Hunter, how are you doing today? All right, man. You have a great project. What's going on? That's a really nice hat, nice hair. Where are you at, Hunter? I'm looking for you, my man.
Hunter.
This was Hunter.
I hit him up.
This was Hunter coming in pre-episode to set all this up. So he's doing a lot of work making sure that he is set up. But yeah, that is what's happening right now, fellas. We do have Colonize Mars. Hunter is waiting in the wings. He hopped in twice, man. So I got to give it to
Yeah,
him. Uh,
absolutely. We appreciate that. And to hit chat real quick, somebody actually did ask Zach Harrison in chat. He says, "Do you have your own coin?" Yep. So you want to look for LADZ, and if you go to lads.city, you can get into our Discord. We've got an excellent community of almost, I think, about almost 2,000 people now, who will help you understand what the ecosystem here looks like, what we're doing with our network, how we tie the social token into what we do on the network, and kind of the long-term plans for that token. That includes NFTs, a DAO that we'll be launching here in a couple of months, and lots of access to what we do. But here we are with Hunter. Hunter, thank you so much for joining us today, man. We appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. Hunter is the founder of Colonize Mars, as we spoke to a little while ago. So thanks so much, man. We appreciate having you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hunter, you came in twice already to set up in pre-production, and I'm sorry that we couldn't get the green screen set up. I'm sure you have an awesome like Mars background with your green screen there.
No worries. You can look at my closet door for now.
Are you on Mars right now? Is that like is that a space station closet that I'm looking at?
I wish I was there. No, but this is an Earth-based room.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Love it.
maybe
Love it.
one day.
Yeah. So, if you could, we were just literally going through kind of just the surface level, what you guys have on the website. We spoke a little bit about the fact that you have your 24-hour sale going on right now, which has done really well so far. And, you've got two different types of packs. You've got, cards. Give us kind of a breakdown of what the community is looking at when they go and they decide to pick up a pack or two of Colonize Mars.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Colonize Mars is an NFT, a set of NFT collectible cards that are on the Wax blockchain, and the idea behind the project is basically to tell the story of colonizing Mars in an accurate and compelling way. So, all the cards are based as closely as possible on aerospace technology, and our goal is to basically tell the story of once we get to Mars in some day in the future, what will we actually do and how will that look? So we're designing missions that have certain equipment and vehicles and tools and buildings that you would send up to Mars, and telling the story through NFTs. So, each one features an item that you'd see in the Mars colony. And so we're doing our first sale right now. It's a 24-hour sale window. And you can basically buy a standard supply crate or an ultimate supply crate. And inside those crates, you'll have cards. And tomorrow we open up our crafting window. And so what you can do is when you unbox your crates tomorrow, and that starts at 8 p.m. UTC, you can start burning cards. And it's a pretty simple burning system. Basically, burn 3 cards of the same rarity and same type, and you'll get 1 card of the same type in the next rarity tier. And so you can do all the way up to our legendary cards. And then we have a unique element to the project, which is ownership cards. And ownership cards equate 1-to-1 with a unique vehicle or piece of equipment. And this will be shown in our colony map, which will be on our website tomorrow. And the colony map is essentially a 3D map that you can explore. It's going to be static to start, but our hope is later this year to add some gameplay elements into it. And so essentially the ownership cards give you ownership of those items in the map. You'll essentially have your wallet address listed on the ownership leaderboard. And we haven't released too many details about how we plan to transition this over to the game quite yet. That's our next priority. But for now, that's essentially the project in a nutshell.
Awesome. So I got a real quick question for you, Hunter. Why
Yeah.
Mars? We always talk about lore here. We're super cyberpunk fans in the LADZ community. LADZ City has definitely got, as you can see behind me, a little bit of a cyberpunk background. But
Yeah.
why Mars, and what are you going to do in the future as far as kind of breaking out this lore and trying to kind of gamify it a little bit?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's really, I think personally, like I believe that we should be a multiplanetary species, and one of the really important things to that is making sure that people are educated on the technology needed to go to Mars and the fact that a lot of it exists today. And I think, Mars is such a great thing for us because it's going to give us answers to scientific questions we've always, been asked or we've asked for thousands of years. Things like, what is life? Are we alone in the universe? It's also going to be a challenge for us, which is, I think, a really positive thing because I believe as humans, when we challenge ourselves, we grow. And so when we go to Mars, we're going to invent new things. We're going to be forced to be self-sustaining up there, which I think will really help in a lot of ways, even on Earth. It'll also really inspire young people, and I think inspiring future generations to become scientists, explorers, astronauts, etc. So all these things to me are really important for us as a human race, and I think colonizing Mars will really contribute positively to future generations. And so, the goal of the project was to really set out to tell this story and get more people interested in it and more people talking about Mars and the possibilities there and being able to potentially even like own a part of that story. And I think that's why NFTs are so cool. You can kind of own part of the story through cards, and then eventually, we can get as many people on as possible in terms of merging the audiences between Mars enthusiasts and crypto enthusiasts. I think there's a lot of in common there. Both are pioneers, both are explorers of new technology, willing to take risks. So yeah, I mean, that's really why we started. We wanted to tell the story of Mars, get it more out into the world, and hopefully get people inspired.
Dude, I love that. I love that. Me personally, I agree with you. I think that we should absolutely be, multiplanetary beings because it's what we need to survive. But to speak kind of to what you were harping on a bit there is the story, right? The story of the colonization of Mars. How exactly are you guys looking to, I guess, tell that story through the pack drops that you're doing, or are you going to be doing some of that via the community like Bitcoin Origins? Do you guys have any plans on a Discord? Kind of what's your avenue to delivering the story over the project's life?
That's a great question. So, it's a visual project. So, of course, art is front and center for us in this project. That was the first thing we focused on. And so the way that we're going to tell the story is, through our website, we're going to have this interactive map. And the cool thing is the map is going to expand over time. So for each launch is essentially going to be a mission, and each mission will add new things to the map. So over time, you'll see the colony expand and grow, and you'll see new pieces of equipment. You'll see new vehicles, astronauts, buildings, etc. And the goal is to simulate, what those actual missions would be as closely as possible. Obviously, we haven't gone to Mars yet, so we don't know exactly what it'll look like, but this is our best sort of estimation of that based on the aerospace research we've done and the advisors that we have. So that's essentially how we're going to tell the story. It's going to be in a visual way. There will be, science, like there's little tidbits of facts about each piece of equipment on the back of the cards, and we'll have mission objectives. And over time, our goal is to have the community more and more involved. And so, we might find some ways to encourage people to help contribute to the mission objectives, or if we have multiple ways that we need to go, having people, debate and throw ideas in terms of the right way to colonize Mars. And I think that's the fun of it, right? We don't really know how Mars will be colonized yet in terms of the sociological and psychological impacts, but we do know the technology, we do know the equipment that would be needed. So we're going to try to get that right, and then it'll be really fun to see how people take it and which direction they go.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. So for a player or a collector, obviously like a good goal to have on the burn event that goes live. You said 8 p.m. UTC tomorrow, so I think that's like 4 p.m. Eastern. Is
Yeah.
obviously kind of the race to burning for those ownership cards.
Sure.
What exactly outside of seeing the 3D map and maybe seeing your name next to the rocket or the Mars rover or whatever, are there any other benefits to holding those cards specifically?
Yeah, this is probably the biggest piece of feedback we've gotten so far from the community. So this is one of the things that, we're prioritizing next is to figure out the right way to reward early, adopters to the project and make sure that people are rewarded based on, how they're investing into it. So, the ownership cards will always be special. We're planning on adding a few special things to those cards within the game. We haven't released too much information about the game yet. This is primarily a set of digital collectibles, and we're essentially in the pregame phase right now. So, what you're collecting is artwork that tells a story about Mars, and then of course, later this year our plan is to release basic gameplay. Inside of that, you'll have the ownership cards, and we'll release exactly what those do within the game. But we also want to keep in mind the people who don't have a chance to own the ownership cards because there's going to be a limited amount, and that amount is set by the items in the colony. So we're thinking of ways to add value to the cards that are legendary or epic or rare, etc., and make sure that everyone who's purchasing supply crates and has the cards, has some sort of value in the game. And of course, we also want to make sure that everyone can play. So that's important to us as well. So, look out for some more details on the gameplay coming in the coming weeks. We're working hard to get all those details out. But at this point, if you're interested in the project, I would think of it more as a digital collectible set of artwork, and we'll release more details of the game as we progress in its development.
Hunter, you're doing an absolutely great job breaking down the project, man. This is a fun interview here. I did want to give a quick shout out to the Colonize Mars community here. Obviously, the lads are here, but the guys who are in Colonize Mars, I'm giving them a really quick shout out on the Telegram. So if you guys are in the Telegram, you are live on YouTube right now. If you want to give a little quick chat, I don't know. Do you want to talk to your community at all and tell them what's up or anything like that before I ask my next question?
Yeah, I mean, they've been super supportive. It's been amazing to see the growth and kind of the different ideas and feedback in the past weeks since we've kind of announced and gotten the project off the ground. So, yeah, I mean, I've been super thankful. Made a lot of friends in the community so far. It's really exciting to see, and we want to take a very a community centric approach with this project, and that's been defined early on. So things like giving feedback on the project are really important to us. And that's really why we're starting simple, is we want to make sure that this develops in a way that the community can have their voice heard and ideas can become part of the project. So yeah, I mean, it's been a really great experience to be able to have, a community and see it grow.
Absolutely, man. So drop your community questions if you have them, guys. I've seen a lot actually come through already, which we'll touch on. Hopefully, we can go back. You guys are definitely firing up the chat. So with this actual release, and I'm always interested in kind of the mechanics behind the way you go about the sale. It's an open sale, so it's not capped. What was the thought process around not capping the sale, and then also what was kind of your expectation with the sale? I know we were talking earlier in the episode about how the NFT market's cooled off a little bit. What was your expectation kind of this sale, and then why go with the uncapped sale here?
Yeah, so the goal with the distribution method was to make sure that everyone was able to purchase a crate that wanted one. And so, we did the 24-hour sale so that people could do that. And then in terms of unlimited, we thought, based on the odds and the ways that people the crafting mechanism is broken down, people can sort of determine the amount of crates that would be needed to give themselves the chance at whichever cards they want to craft. So we made all that information as clear as possible so people could achieve their objectives with what they want with the project. So there's a lot of different strategies, I think, in terms of what people will want to craft and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see that. And another interesting part about the sale process is we're doing our unboxing and crafting window after the sale window closes. So this sort of allows people to determine what they want to do before, and limits the kind of, I guess, race to craft to purchase and then craft. And we wanted to try that method as best as we could. The other thing is we're doing pre-mints for each of the supply crates purchased, and the way that we do that is after the sale window closes, we're going to be counting the exact amount of crates sold and pre-minting the cards inside of those, so everyone has a chance at low mints. So we weren't anticipating this kind of demand. I mean, it's been amazing to see the support, and this will really help us, ramp up development and bring something really exciting to the community. So we're super thankful for that, and we'll be, making sure to adjust supply and demand as best as possible moving forward, so that everyone's happy.
Very, very cool, man. Well, obviously, like the community showed up, and I think that's because the art is cool. You know what I mean? You've got the burn mechanics, like you guys have a roadmap. There's utility. There's a story. There's obviously there's a face, and all that means a lot in the community. So I think that this is a good example that like the general like scene might be slowing down, and people aren't spending $1 million on one piece of artwork anymore. But projects like yours that actually have a little bit of soul and a little bit of utility, right, to the technology, are definitely, I hope, continue to see amazing sales like this. I think Q kind of started at the top of the show, and you guys were around 600,000 already, which is amazing. So congratulations to you guys for that, dude. I think that's excellent. It's beautiful to see, and I love this conversation that we've had and learning about Colonize Mars. We definitely had some questions from the chat, so I am going to ask kind of, the very first one that I saw pop up a couple times was, do the Mars cards have the ability to be staked on our planet? I know a lot of the wax projects kind of like have been working that out with our planet, and so some of our community likes to do the staking and whatnot. Is any of the Mars cards currently working anything out with our planet, or do you think that might be something that you can look at for the future?
Yeah, so we've reached out. It seems unlikely at this point that our planet will be our project will be on our planet, so I wouldn't count on it. Um, you know, I guess what I would want to just say is, like, my hope is that this project is for people who really admire, the, I guess, the vision of it, like Mars being something that is sort of inspiring, and the success for this project would really look like getting people kind of interested in Mars. And so my goal is, I want to make sure people, purchase the project for the artwork and the way that it's the story is told, and we'll release more details in terms of if we're doing collaborations or anything like that as we have the information. But we're also really interested in how do we add utility to these. So it is a challenging balance to achieve, right? Like, what's the value within the set? Also, what's the value within the ecosystem of different projects? And these are all things we're keeping top of mind.
Very, very cool. Awesome. Another question that I did see was that you guys did mention on your website that you are looking to do a native token in the future. Do you guys have any plans to kind of build into the experience of the NFTs to be able to mine those that currency, or is it going to be kind of something that you're just doing outside of the game experience itself?
So yeah, our plan is to have it involved in the game in some capacity. The premise of it being, of course, Mars will need a currency of some sort to govern the economy. So why not it be a cryptocurrency? And what would that look like? And what would people, do to earn that? So we don't have, the specifics around how exactly you're going to earn it yet. But I would imagine, imagine what astronauts would do on Mars, right? Like, one of the activities will be to gather resources, things like maybe iron ore to make steel to build the colony. Another would be to maintain the equipment that's there already and make sure that it's running well and it has the utility to support the colony. So things like that would most likely be, the gameplay in terms of how it would work. And we want to basically make the Marsha token, and we called it Marsha because it means belonging to Mars. So we felt like it was kind of a good name for the token. But we're super excited about this, and we want to ramp up and give all those details as soon as possible. And so we'll be sharing, the specifics of like the tokenomics of that and how it works within the game pretty soon.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Asmodai who asked that question. He said, "Are we living on potatoes or are we going to have a token?" So definitely an interesting way to ask about a governance token there. Guys, keep the chats coming through a little bit. We've got some Elon supporters here that are hoping Elon picks up on this project. So is there anything maybe we didn't touch on up to this point that you kind of want to get out about Colonize Mars and the drop that you've are undertaking right now and the sale you're undertaking right now? I know we touched on a bunch. I think you did a great job summarizing. Anything we may have missed that you want to kind of hit and let the community know about?
I would say, just join our Telegram, join our Twitter. We're gonna do our best to make regular, updates to the project and get everyone kind of involved in the process. So I think that would be a really great step for everyone moving forward. And as we work out some of the details, we love people's thoughts and people's feedback on how the project is progressing. So I think that's really important. I know we also have a few packs to give away to the community here. So, I don't know if we want to do that after the show or however you guys want to do it, but those are available too. And
That's great, man. No, I think Ronan's like least favorite word in the whole dictionary is, I believe, the wheel of names. So we're not going to randomly do it here on the episode,
okay.
but we definitely will be doing the giveaway for our community. And you guys stay tuned in our Discord, and we will kind of get you the information on the actual giveaway itself. But thank you, Hunter, for that giveaway, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate the support, and yeah, of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hunter, for your time, man. I think that we covered most of the questions in chat. I don't think that we missed anything crazy. Oh, someone asked if you're going to end up doing a Tesla Roadster Mars card. Do we get the Tesla on Mars? It's on its way, brother.
I don't know.
Make it happen.
We'll see. I mean, it'd be fun to do that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Hunter, please tell me that your community name is the Martians. Please.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Marshes.
We'll think about it.
Marshes, man. All right. Okay. All right. Sounds good, Hunter.
Thank you so much, man.
Great interview, man. Thank you so much.
You.
Talk soon.
All right. Appreciate it.
Boom. That was awesome.
Another good one in the books.
Dude, he's awesome. I love his vibe. I love how much he has like a passion for like Mars exploration and colonizing Mars, and he's brought that passion to the NFT like ecosystem. And that's like what I love to see about this space and the projects, man. Like you have like a passion for something and it has nothing to do with like technology. Like, well, I guess that's kind of technology, but like, you know what I mean? Like you don't necessarily need to go the route of like creating an entire NFT project to get people to be aware of the fact that we are going to and need to colonize Mars, right? So but it's a way to think outside of the box. It's a way to capture an audience that you're not currently capturing. And I think that's exactly how, everyone should be approaching the space. Is like, this is something where you can capture an audience that may not be natively interested in what you've got going on. So, but doing something like this, I think that it's going to be really cool to see the map pop up. I can't wait to see the roadster somewhere in the middle of the Mars colony. And I think it's going to be a good project, man. I'm really looking forward to it. And as Hunter said, he is going to be throwing us some packs from today's sale. So you guys make sure you are going to lads.city if you're not already a lad. Definitely jump in there. We've got plenty of mods and an amazing community that will help onboard you, get you into it, get your rank going, and then you'll be able to hop into chats and kind of keep up with what we've got going on with all the radio and shows and all the content that we're producing throughout the week. So we hope that you guys join us there, and we hope that you guys enjoyed that interview, because I know I did.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of comments coming through in the chat about the actual utility. I think Hunter did a great job actually explaining how the cards will be burned and then obviously have additional utility as they continue to build out the game. The infinite supply piece is, I think up for debate, right? Like projects can be successful doing the infinite supply, not doing the infinite supply. It all depends on after the actual sale itself and what you're doing with the project. It has nothing to do with trying to limit supply so only 1,000 people actually get in. You would have your own set of problems there afterwards. So I don't really have an issue there with the infinite supply. But Ronan, you've been a collector for a long time. You literally bear the moniker. What do you make about the infinite supply on the sale and kind of going forward in the comments in the chat?
Yeah, I think ultimately, like, you know, when you do infinite supplies or you do these open editions, you need to have a reason for doing them. And I think that the project has a reason. Obviously, the first one, if you guys do like the math, to be able to like craft a legendary is going to take you something like, I think, 20 something cards, right? So you're looking at multiple packs worth of cards just to get up to that point. And then you need 3 of those to be able to cash in for an ownership card, right? So you're talking about a lot of people are going to be doing these burns. When you have an open edition, a lot of the issues come if you're providing too much supply and there's not enough demand, right? But the thing with the burn event taking place immediately after the sale closes is you're gonna chop that down pretty significantly just through the event itself, right? Now, what I would like to see is for them to kind of come out and confirm, okay, like these cards, yes, they are pieces of art, and I know that he doesn't want to be committed to anything, and I understand that, right? Like between now and next January, a lot is going to change, and they're probably going to pivot the way that they're approaching the gameplay aspect. But I do think to say like we do have intent, and I think that's what he was trying to say without saying it, right? Like because he doesn't know like exactly how it's going to play out. But I think the intent there is for, like he said, some of these higher tiers like the legendaries and the epics to actually have some type of value within the game ecosystem. And that doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like maybe to be able to complete an objective, the owner of the Mars rover is going to require 250 Mars rover cards burned to be able to have enough gas to make it, right? That's how like you get people involved who don't necessarily have the money to go and burn all these cards to get a legendary and then own a one of one. So there's a lot of ability to kind of create utility there and to use that supply. I don't have anything against it. Now if they come out and they don't do anything and January hits and there's no reason for them to have that many cards in supply, then you've got to reevaluate, right? But I don't think that's the case. I think they do have it. They just don't have it set in stone, so he doesn't want to be committed to anything just yet. This is just that pre-sale where, like he said, it's going to help them really launch, get the development moving, get some more team members, full time, and then they can hit it.
Yeah, and the idea that they have a token coming out that is associated with the platform is a lot of where the value is going to be captured, right? Like there's going to be a lot of development with that token, and that might go, we're not on the team, so we can't sit up here and actually explain this is what it's going to be used for. But if I'm in that position, I'm saying, okay, if we have a token, it's going to a lot of our early contributors in one realm or another. So all right, we will get to the episode, the rest of the episode. We already, I think, like 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in. I got to say, though, man, we've been a part of a lot of sales, okay? We've been a part of a lot of sales. Is there, like, a more toxic environment than, like, sale day itself?
Sale days always bring out the people who, like, have something to say.
It reminds me of, like, 2 a.m. at a casino where, like, somebody's walking out just like, and then someone's like about to go off themselves. Like that's literally what sale day is to me. And it's just, it brings out the most toxic, and I'm not saying the people in chat are asking toxic questions, but I'm just making the point that sale day is very, it's
a good time.
Highly volatile.
It's a good time for backseat developers to get out their frustration with however today's, the sale days launch is going. And I think at the end of the day, like there are some projects that have done these things and they've done them the wrong way. You know what I mean? Godzilla, like that was like, but they didn't do shit, right? They didn't have a plan. They didn't have utility. They didn't have a story. They didn't have, there's reason that Colonize Mars has gone this direction. And I think it's a smart reason, honestly. And, doing like the advisement thing and the consulting, it's like, I would probably say like, this is a good way. Just make sure that we have a roadmap for how we're going to cut that supply, how we're going to go back to the first drop, how we're going to build that incentive for the secondary. So I think it's an excellent project. We appreciate everybody who's in chat, throwing up the comments, everyone who's hanging out with us and having that conversation, because it's why I'm in the space, man. Because I think like being able to debate like all these projects and why they're doing what they're doing and how it works
Yes.
is super interesting to me.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And we've covered them a lot, since the first sale days on Wax, we've covered that. So the real factor is in the early days, Ronan, when we were covering sale days, you could not miss. It didn't matter what the project was doing afterwards. It didn't matter this, that, whatever. You were getting a return no matter what the case was. And now the market, again, is catching up with demand. There's a lot of supply in the market. There's a lot of saturation. We've talked about Nifty Gateway. And it's now you got to find them. Now you got to actually do some work and find the good projects. So
Yeah, it brings more value to things that, like networks like what we do, right? Like we try to weed through all the junk and try to find these diamonds, these projects that actually have utility, that have long-term plans. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Paris and the all these things going on because they're part of the news. But at the same time, we do want to bring quality projects to the LADZ because we believe that everyone involved in our community appreciates and will reward a badass NFT project.
There you go.
So that's the goal.
Absolutely, man. And with that, we will get into today's episode. Ronin is not the only Ronin on today's episode. So Axie Infinity is initiating the great Axie migration, not to Ronin's house, but to Ronin sidechain. This is going to be a bridge that is going to allow the previously based ERC20s to actually move onto this sidechain and be able to have things like breeding fees be instead of a certain amount of ETH and then paying the gas fee on top of that. You're going to be now set at 1 AXS and you're going to be able to not have those gas fees. So a lot of the things that we've been seeing on the Polygon blockchain, a lot of things that we've been seeing on Binance, where some of these low value, high volume transactions, they need to be on a sidechain. They cannot be on Ethereum. And this is what Axie Infinity and Sky Mavis, the team behind the project, has been working on for a long time. So again, Sky Mavis is ready for the great Axie migration. Gamers can now move their Axie Infinity characters from the Ethereum blockchain to the Ronin sidechain. And a lot of this has to do with capturing value for their community. All of these different things are happening. Right? You're getting breeding, you're getting buying, you're getting secondary marketplace, all within the Ronin sidechain. I want to bring up one thing, and Ronin, give me your comments while this is playing. But we had our boy Kagiyan, who does NFT Arcade on LADZ Day. We've got him here talking about the migration kind of in a tutorial fashion. He's really breaking down the Chrome extension that helps people move their actual funds and assets to this Ronin sidechain. But what do you think about Ronin?
Dude, I think it's awesome. Obviously, Axie is a huge game in the space, if not the biggest. And every time they do something like this and they kind of lead the way for other projects to make the same steps is a huge plus, in my opinion. We need to see more side chains. We need to see more layer twos. I know that there's some people who get all bent out of shape about that, but at the end of the day, the cost of doing business is too high when you're dealing directly with Ethereum, even though we've seen low gas for the past few days. It's not going to last. And when we get, 10 more Axie Infinity experiences on ETH, it's just going to continue to bog it down. So to see them doing what they're doing, to see them, rolling this out, same thing with Zed Run, they're moving over to, I believe, Matic or Polygon. And for those things as well, for the breeding, for the racing, so you're not actually having to go in and pay $25 gas fee to put in $10 into the race pot to get first place and get $20, right? It doesn't even cost your cover the cost of entry. So seeing this being done in multiple ecosystems is very much appreciated, and I love it. Big ups to Axie for doing it, and we're looking forward to seeing what they got coming next, man.
100%. And Kagi is probably the biggest Axie stan that I've ever met in my life. I appreciate his energy about the Axie project and the relationship he has with the Axie team and the Axie community is exactly, I think, what Axie's going for. It's all community based. It has nothing to do with putting out those big social media campaigns or paying for a bunch of advertisements. It's all through supporting guys like Kagi. So shout out to Kagi there. If you guys want to check out his YouTube channel, it's right there, CAGYJAN. He goes by Kagiyan. He goes by Rage Cage. He goes by Cajun. He goes by all these different things. Ronan doesn't even know what to call him because I was busy calling him like 15 different things in the beginning. So
I honestly don't know what his real name is. But on to the next story for you
Yep.
guys today so we can keep it rolling. We have got a really cool project that I came across on Twitter, and I just thought that we would share it with you because, I love like projects that are a little bit different. So this one is carved tiles. Each one of these tiles is actually straight up carved out of a piece of, solid metal, right? And then what happens is they take these, it's handmade wood plus resin, and they're inlaid in a metal frame, right? And each of these is then put into a really cool box. But what I like the most about them is if you check out the back, and I can't remember, I think it's on the about page if you want to check that out. And scroll down a little bit on the back of these. Yeah, so there's like the physical piece, what it looks like displayed, actually has the
That's
QR
sick.
code for the permanent link to the NFT. It tells you what token ID it is, who the artist was, and the contract ID. And I think that like it is a cool piece of art that includes technology that just makes sense. So big shout out to those guys, for everybody on that team. Their sale goes live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I hope that, the community shows up, man. There's one of these. That's one of the ones that I was looking at that I really, really liked. And then there's another one that looks like it's the shore of a beach. That's absolutely beautiful. So I'm definitely going to be checking these out. I think Q checked it out and said that they're each 0.3 ETH to pick one up, which I think is pretty reasonable. You're going to get a physical piece. It's going to come in the mail. It's a beautiful piece of artwork, and they put a lot of work behind it. So shout out to those guys. I love the project, and I hope that they do well tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. These are very, very beautiful. The
They really are.
digiphysical is, and I don't know exactly even if you can call digiphysical. I think we're still trying to figure out that term because this is not a piece that's then going to be an NFT in like a metaverse setting where you're going to drop it in like your house or something like that. But being able to have that QR code own the NFT and the physical piece, that's really cool. So I think that we're only starting to experiment with that, and they're beautiful, man. They're absolutely beautiful. So definitely might be picking up a piece here. Thank you for
Yeah.
this little bit of alpha. But we have a piece. I've been trying to actually get this loaded up in the background while we're going. But
Oh,
what's up?
I was gonna tell you, it goes live at 4 p.m. Eastern. So it's not live for another like hour and a half,
Oh,
which
okay.
might be why like you can't even see it.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm talking about the next story of trying to bring up Decentraland, trying to bring up
Hmm.
Atari in Decentraland. This is the Atari Casino that's going to be popping up in Decentraland. I've been trying to pull this up for the last like 20 minutes, and when I try to do so, the stream gets all wonky, and then I got to exit out because there's just a lot of rendering, and I got a shitty computer possibly. But we have this Atari Grand Casino opening in Decentraland with this link, which I can drop into the chat. You should be able to go in. Right now, it's just a physical plot. Like there is nothing built, nothing there. I think what's going to happen is right at 8 p.m. UTC today, they are going to have. So that's in the next couple hours as well.
It's 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So that is happening relatively shortly as well. I believe this Atari Casino is just going to pop up, and you're going to be able to go in there. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff. About 10 G's in prizes in the shape of wearable NFTs, DG token, and Gerald the Pinata NFTs are going to be available for this. So I'm excited to see what this casino actually is. I'm not necessarily sure that it's going to look like your standard casino and being able to use the Atari or mana token in these casinos because there's a lot of regulatory stuff that goes around with that. But I mean, to see Decentraland have a consistent, I guess, we've always talked about this, like a consistent presence where there are people in there all the time. That is where they need to get to become what they need to become. Because right now it's like only events, and then the rest of it's a desert, So it'd be cool to see Atari Casino pop off.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, the move to the metaverse is definitely going to be paved by these events that kind of bring in big crowds, and then hopefully, the metaverses will start to host like more events outside of like the main event, right? Like this one has got a live DJ set that's going to be going on by Dylan Francis. So Dylan's going to be there. He's going to be DJing. But there's people who are dropping in right now, right? Like who are checking out this article, who are reading about it, who maybe don't realize that APM UTC hasn't come. Like there should be something going on right now, right? Like capture the people who are there, who are hanging out. Like you should have some moderators, maybe you got a secondary, Buffalo in the wings, like, spinning some tunes for people as they hang out and wait for the Atari to appear. And then I think that's where we'll start to see like more and more adoption of the metaverse and more time spent. But right now it is very much all around these events, which is still very cool. Obviously get in, get to experience it, hang out with some friends, and then you can pop back out. But eventually you're going to want people being there.
Have you seen the uplift lately?
I have not seen the uplift lately.
Guys.
I have not.
Guys, we're going in. I got to show you
the uplift.
Ronin, I've got to show you what Small Town Cowboy has been building in the uplift. It's absolutely freaking amazing. I'm going to try to find it.
He's insane.
It's absolutely insane.
The work he does is awesome, dude.
All right, here we go. Let's I'm going to pop you in, dude. Check this out.
Heck yeah.
Hold on.
Ooh. Holy.
No, you're not even at the best part, man. Get ready for it. I can't tell if the lads are upset that I'm showing this all the time. I guarantee they're not upset, but they're like, man, you show this off every episode. Look at this. Get ready.
Oh my God, dude. You guys can't see me, but my mouth is literally like hanging open. This is insane.
I think this is probably the most built out part of the city right now as we turn left and get to kind of see at night kind of like what's going on.
Does that say dollhouse?
That says dollhouse.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I love it. Oh my gosh, the Bitcoin bank. Dude, he killed it. Small Town Cowboy. I don't know if you're hanging out with us in chat, dude, but this video is absolutely insane. I cannot wait until we can have our episode like in the dollhouse, actually hanging out outside of the dollhouse. Yep. Dude, that's awesome. That is awesome. Big ups, dude. Amazing. This is an excellent project. I'm super happy that we're a part of it. And we've got somebody like him working on our plot of land, because that is impressive.
Truth, man. Truth. I appreciate Small Town Cowboy. I think all the community does, and I can't wait. I echo your sentiments. That is crazy. So
absolutely.
So we've got the
next up.
Yeah, please. Next up, explain to me what happened
next
here,
up,
because
we're gonna have to run through. I don't know. It's already been an hour. I'm like,
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm good, but I'm just like, holy moly! Like, I think the interview just went longer than usual because it was like a really good interview, right? Yeah, so the next story up that we've got is Reebok. I keep wanting to say Adidas. It was not Adidas. It was Reebok. Reebok dropped a surprise drop on Wax. I think this was 2 days ago. I think that from what I understand, the RFox and Cogs community actually had a little bit of a jump start on everyone else, which is making people think that maybe Reebok is going to be part of that metaverse mall that the RFox Cogs team is putting together. So, but they did get a little bit of a heads up. You were able to jump in. These were actually free claimables. So you could hop in if you were one of the one. I think there was 200 of each of these, or maybe it was 200 total. You can check it out. Obviously, you see the prices. They're going for a few $100s each. And I think it's awesome, man. I think this is the type of thing I would love to see more and more take place. Like, just have a brand, just drop an NFT, right? And then like maybe 2 hours after like it gets scooped up, say, hey, by the way, if you own one of these, you're going to get a pair in Decentraland or something. You know what I mean? Like, and now all of a sudden the secondary goes boom. Right. I think that's where a lot of these projects are really missing out, is just like really like you do a sale, you do a drop, you do like, make it a little questionable, and then you let them know, yo, this is what we're doing with these NFTs that you just picked up for free. Right.
Dude, so here's my issue here, and we'll touch on this here in a second. There was a couple things. This happened at Godzilla. I don't know about the other ones, but some of these drops are like they happen, and then you get the email about them that they're happening. And then it's sold out, and you're like, "What in God?" No, I had no idea Reebok was dropping NFTs. We cover NFTs for a living, and we don't know that this is happening. And then they just sold out. Do we know what they were retailing at, like initially? What the price was? 0?
They had to be claimed, and they were claimed. You had the claim required that you had a cog in your Wax wallet. So all you had to have was a cog, and then you could go and claim one. And yeah, so these are the projects that I love to be a part of. And these are the projects where I look at the lads and I'm like, why did nobody ping the @NFT group and let us know this was going down? I need to have a conversation with our COG community leads, whoever is the lads representative in the COG's Discord. I know who it is. I wasn't going to call him out.
I'm calling him out.
But I know who it is. So yeah, but XWOW obviously did get himself, I think, a pair or two. Big ups to them. I think it's an excellent like way of kind of just saying, hey, we're here, and we've got some content for you guys. So I like it.
I just realized that I have cogs in my wallet.
Of course you have cogs in your wallet. If you're a lad, let me just put it out there. If you're a lad and you do not have a cog in your wallet, like, then we need to have a chat, because everybody should have some cogs in their wallet. It's an amazing project. It's a lot of fun to go in and play the beta and do that. So hit me up and let me know if you don't have one. I've got, I don't know, like 800. So we'll be good.
Okay. All right. I'm going to attempt to move on from this travesty of what just happened. So we've got Sega getting in. This is just going to be a quick story. Not much details were kind of put out, but there's not that much detail that needs to be said here, right? Sega is coming. They have a bunch of big IPs. They're working with a company called Double Jump Tokyo, and that partnership is going to be bringing NFTs. Again, probably their biggest IP is Sonic. I think Crazy Taxi is mentioned. That was a freaking throwback on Dreamcast. So if you had a Dreamcast, definitely shout out to you there. But not much information was given. This actual piece here was via Play to Earn, but they also had their own announcement. Doublejump.Tokyo and gaming giant Sega partnership for global expansion of NFTs utilizing Sega IPs. It wasn't mentioned what blockchain, right? The global development of NFT digital content utilizing blockchain tech. What blockchain is this? Nobody knows. There wasn't any information about when drops. I think the summertime was mentioned. So right here in this actual release, still highly popular today by the summer of 2021. So that's really the only information we have right now from Sega and from what they're trying to do here on Sega and releasing NFTs.
Yeah. So I think for me, the most obvious play there is to implement some Sega IP into the projects that they already are doing. I know that the Double Jump actually does Brave Frontier Heroes, which I used to play the app before that, and it's a really cool game. Essentially, like, the NFTs are champions, and you like build a team of champions, and they have like utility. So I would imagine that like you could probably start there, but they are on Ethereum. And I think that they built out another one, My Crypto Heroes or something like that, which was also an ETH project. So I think that it is probably going to go either the avenue of like importing the IP into one of those experiences to start, or maybe we do see an entire Sega. I would, with the company they're working with, I'd imagine maybe we see a Sega game that includes NFTs from maybe all of these IPs that they still hold the rights for. But it's fun to speculate, especially when you're a Sega fan and you have very, very fond memories of playing Crazy Taxi and listening to The Offspring about 1 million fucking times.
Yeah. I imagine, dude, Crazy Taxi, The Offspring, yes.
It was because it was back when, you know, the soundtrack didn't change for games. So like if you had to play the same part over and over, it's just like, do you remember Need for Speed, the underground one, where it was like to the windows,
to the wall. That was
every time you turned on the game. It was that was the song at the main menu, man, and it drive you nuts. You were so tired of that song after a while. But it is a throwback. So we'll see what Sega decides to do going down that avenue and getting into NFTs.
Game soundtrack, while we're on the the topic, and I'll just move quickly. Game soundtrack, best of all time's got to be Grand Theft Auto. Just hopping in and there actually being a radio, and you felt like you're actually in the radio. Soon we'll have LADZ City Radio playing here. Somewhere in there, LADZ City Radio will have its headquarters, but... All right.
You know who's going to be in the city next week, right?
Who's going to be in the city next week?
This guy.
Oh yeah, why don't you just
Yeah,
touch on that really
it's
quick?
actually sitting right here. Yep. The green screen arrived. So Ronin will be in Lad City next week,
Oh man.
and every week moving forward. So I'm really excited about that. I've got my lights set up, everything. So we'll be legit starting next
Boom.
week with the content and the quality for you guys there.
Okay.
So we do have a couple more stories.
Okay.
We probably want to run through
Yep.
them real quick. I know that you guys hit on the Christie's auction, but I found it to be something that, in my opinion, I definitely wanted to bring up
Yep.
because of what she's doing, right? So if you don't know, what was her first name?
Emily.
Emily.
It's my girl.
So what Emily is doing is, yeah. So what Emily is doing is she is actually she is buying herself back. What does that mean? She's a model. She's a model who has an Instagram. She's a model who has an Instagram that's very popular, and she has had people appropriate her art, right? The photos of what she does, because they are public when she put them out there, and use that art to make money. In one particular case, somebody sold a piece of work that was a direct copy of her Instagram photo that you see there, and he sold it for like $90,000. And for her to get it back, to get the piece of her that is basically her art in the first place, it cost her like $100,000, and she's had to fight for this thing. So using NFTs, partnering with Christie's, she is basically appropriating the appropriation. So she is literally taking the photo that was used, she's using the Instagram screenshot of it and creating that as the NFT and selling it, and hopefully she does get her worth, because that is what I think NFTs do for the world, and how they are going to change the way we move forward when it comes to brands and creators and artists and celebrities in general. Like we should be capturing all of our value. We shouldn't have a million people in between us and our audience capturing 80% of that, while we capture a very small portion. And that's in perpetuity, forever behind us. It's always been that way.
Emily could literally be the poster child for this type of NFT and capturing value for its creator. And when I say creator, it's just a person. Like that's where she's at with, what she's being able to do. It's literally her body. Like that's been kind of just, at least from the corporate standpoint, it's been taken from her. So yeah, great points all around, man. And Emily's definitely freaking goddess in my mind. Don't tell Lindsay that, but so it's awesome to see her doing this with Christie's. We'll monitor that. The bidding starts in 16 days. All right, the last bit of news here, and this is just going to be very quick. This kind of dropped over the past 24 hours, so not as much information. But we do have the sale date for Weezer. So Weezer's an awesome band. Obviously, they're an OG band. Back when I was growing up, they were definitely killing it. But they have these NFTs coming to Wax, and we have the actual amounts, we have the price, and we have the sale day. So two packs will be available for purchasing. The standard pack, which will contain 10 NFTs, be available for $20. Mega pack, 25 NFTs for $40. The cards will represent each of the 12 tracks on the album, and NFTs will be available in 5 degrees of rarity. So they give you the total supply there, and they also are saying 12 of these numbers representing the ultra rare golden ticket category. These ultra rare golden tickets will be redeemable for a physical item handmade by Dan Polidorus of Death by Toys. So that is coming. That is going to be on looks like today.
Wait, it says it went live at 1 p.m. and I was looking for it. I can't find it anywhere. I don't see it on Rares. I don't see it on Atomic. So I'm guessing maybe that date might not be accurate, or maybe the time isn't accurate. Not sure about that one. But either way, I think it's cool to see another company coming into the space. Obviously, they're working with Rares, who did the Dead Mouse drop. I think that is kind of where they're going in the space. They're trying to target like that crowd, right? The musicians. So very cool. I think that it'll be cool to see kind of where that comes and where it goes. So let's follow that story, man.
I followed it for you while you were talking.
There it is. Weezer.rares.io. But that's the thing.
Do you see what's right in front of me though?
Oh no, wait, nope, sure don't.
What is happening? Somebody needs to get on this. We have a lot of commentation in the chat about that COG situation, which I'm not going to get over for a while. We have a lot of Cogs people in the chat. Cogs people are, I mean, just in the time that we said we own Cogs, Ronan, I've had 2 people message me asking me what Cogs I own. That's how rabid you guys are. And yet, I could not get an update like 5 seconds, 10 minutes before this actual drop. Easy's in the chat saying that he's also let down. This is I don't know, man. And then we have another wax sale that sells out. Guys, we need to get on our game. We need to get on our game. So
Yep, absolutely. And these are cool, man. I think they're kind of cool. I like these little like figures and like the cardboard cases and boxes. It's an interesting little drop. Hopefully they will stick around and reenact the secondary with those. But big shout out to all the lads who did not let us know that this was taking place an hour and a half ago.
Danny Boy is saying, is this show recorded? We might think about it, honestly. We're going to be this late on the news.
Yeah, that's a blunder on us. It happens. And good for Weezer. They sold out in 30 minutes. Amazing. I think that we'll continue to see those types of projects sell out. I do hope that the bands and the artists and the IPs and the brands all do kind of stick around, though. That's my biggest thing. Stick around. You know what I mean? Like, provide some more value to the secondary market and to the communities who are collecting your stuff. So another great episode, brother.
Another great episode, man. We came together and absolutely killed this episode.
We come together and kill it every episode. I think there was like one episode that we got done and we were like, that wasn't the best episode ever.
You guys added a lot of value to the comments as well. This has been a really great comment section day. Community is really adding a lot of value to these conversations. I mean, it definitely would not be the same conversation without everyone freaking out in there. And adding the puns while we were interviewing the Colonize Mars and adding some comments now. So,
yep, it definitely gives us life, and we appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you to everybody who came and hang out. Don't forget, we've got the heads up at 6 p.m. between Loadmaster and oh my god, my mind went blank, totally blank. What's his name?
As Bullseye.
Bullseye, between Loadmaster and Bullseye, 6 p.m. Eastern. Friday, we've got a full docket. NFT Live at 2 p.m. Eastern. NFT Arcade at 5 p.m. Eastern. Poker at 6 p.m. Eastern, and LADZ City Radio. So you guys know how it is and how we end it every week. It is our vibe and our tribe. We'll catch you later.
Later, guys.